We are on. We are on the Speak Your Truth with Mark Ross podcast. Susan,
Oh, thank
I'm
you,
your
Jack.
host, Mark
Thank
Ross,
you.
and with me this morning, ladies and gentlemen, we have Susan Peltekian. Uh, Susan's in Dubai right now, and I'm not, happy with it. How you doing, Susan?
I'm delighted to see you after months. We booked this long time ago,
We
Mark. Thank
did.
you for
We did.
having me. Thank
We
you
did.
for allowing the privilege to serve our
Yeah,
people, our awesome audience. How are you?
I'm all right. We had a few hiccups, but we were finally able to get it together. So yeah, there's that. Susan, you are a life coach of some degree, correct? Um, uh, what do you call it? A manifestation?
Manifestation, mindset, peak performance.
Yeah,
The labels don't really. I teach not against anything. I'm not for labels, but yes, if we must label me, those are some of the labels. Yes.
got it, got it. And
Yes.
Susan, but before I talk to you about your current career, let's talk about your prior career.
Which one?
You were well. We talked when we talked initially. You
Yes.
mentioned that you were in real estate for quite a long time, and that you were
Yes.
kicking ass in that career field, right?
Yeah. Yes. It
So,
was a privilege. Yes.
so what at one point, Susan, did you get the urge to leave that field and start this one?
Hi. So the story, very long story short, Mark. I love sharing it now because if I can do it, then anyone listening in, wherever they are in life, whether they're thriving, there's so much more for them. And whether they're literally beyond rock bottom, there is just there. Each one of us is one decision away from a completely different life, which is
Mm,
what I did. This is all I've wanted to do. Of course, I didn't know what a speaker, no, I knew what a speaker was, but a coach and a consultant were when I was younger. But this is all I've wanted to do, but I never believed in myself. So it was, yes, real estate before that, mortgages, mortgage underwriting, teacher of English as a second language, debt collector, flight attendant, you name it. I have had multiple lives.
I can see
And
the flight attendant though.
yeah, it's funny people say that. And collector, I'm like, yes, ma'am, you're pregnant. Congratulations, happy Easter. Now go make the payment. And I don't know how I did it, but it was they all led me to make one decision right before COVID. It was January of 2020 in Toronto, Canada, and we didn't know about COVID yet. I certainly didn't. And one decision cold turkey, Mark, I said I'm retiring from real estate. And through the power of what I teach, none of which I can take credit for, they're universal laws, I attracted the #1 Remax real estate agency worldwide that happens to be the most exceptional people I've worked with, a Canadian Remax brand, and they filled up all of my spots during COVID. So that's the short version of it. But all like I zigzagged throughout all the other jobs because I never believed in myself, and I'm so happy that you've invited me to speak today to our precious audience, because if I can cultivate that belief, then anyone listening in can do the same and more. So I'm
Mm,
such an advocate for humanity and our transformation and
mm,
us living our lives by design. So if you want Dubai, we're co-creating it for you as well.
mm. Okay.
Just
Sounds like a sales pitch, Susan. Sounds like a sales pitch. What's your target audience for the work that you do as a coach?
So it can literally be anyone. The law of attraction works for anyone. And the ones that I end up working with are the ones who realize like they've either done extremely well and they're like, is this all there is? And they reach midlife and they're like, there must be more to life than this. Right. And we're really every day uncovering who we are. You are Michelangelo's David, and it's not a sales pitch, but thank you for that. It is the reality of who you are. You're Michelangelo's David, and all we're doing, Mark, is chipping away what Michelangelo did with David, to unleash the true version of you. You're born in the perfect vibration as a human being. You have royal blood coursing through you, and you are literally a masterpiece and the co-creator of one. And yet, how many of us wake up thinking that? We don't. We're just repeating today a version of yesterday. And why I said Dubai there, tongue in cheek. I'm glad you said that. Is literally, I teach people to create their lives by design. So get crystal clear first and foremost on what you want. Create that juiciest vision. And then from there, we reverse engineer everything.
Okay.
That's the first step of manifestation, by the way. I went into it. And it's in the Bible, although I don't teach theology, I don't teach the Bible, Mark. It says in there, without a vision, the people perish. And more than 9% of the precious souls I get to speak with, that I'm humbled to cross paths with, don't know what they want. And most, even if they have an idea, most haven't taken pen to paper, Mark, to actually write down. So whoever's listening in, the minute, if this is live, it's right now. And the minute you literally put this awesome podcast of yours live everywhere else, whoever is listening in, literally start taking pen to paper and write down what you want. More steps from there, but that's the first step. What do you have there? Your vision board?
My vision board. It's not. I think I can add some more stuff to it, but I just want to show you about the vision. I have my vision too, and I am in the process of accomplishing some things. One of which is doing this podcast.
You are doing a podcast, and it's yes. Oh, congrats! I love it. That's fantastic that you brought it up. And are you repeatedly looking at it? Because that is key, repetition.
I'm with you on that. So we're gonna talk a little bit more about the law of attraction, Susan. Sure. I want to ask you, your mission as a coach is to help people find their divine purpose, as you like to call it. How do you do that? Number one, how do you help others find their purpose? And number two, how did you find yours? Let's start there. How did you find your purpose?
Mine is easy. Unlike most people I've known, this is all I've wanted to do. Mine was really easy. I just didn't believe in myself. So this is literally, I don't work a day in my life. This is my privilege. I'm humbled to serve our human race. This is all I've wanted to do since childhood. It's not just my childhood dream. It's my divine purpose. For most, it's uncovering what they want and having them create their vision. It starts with that. So the vision starts, Mark, without consideration of time, of money. Those are the big ones usually for most human beings, of how much time has gone by, how much time we think is left, or how much money we think we need. In a perfect day, if I had a magic wand, which I don't, no pressure, what would you be doing? Who would you be serving? How would you be contributing to our mankind? What kind of toys would you own? What kind of travels? What kind of contribution? What kind of charities? How would you feel? How would you be dressed? Where would you be living? Who would you be waking up with? And it literally, you create from a day in a life. This is just an example. From the time Mark wakes up to the time he falls asleep, an ideal day in your life. What would that look like? And then before you know it, we're going to go to step 2 from there. This is the one thing that, so I knew about my divine purpose, but mine, I thought, was more about rah-rahing people. God has certainly given me a voice and a lot of enthusiasm, thankfully. So I thought I'd get on the world stages or podcasts to motivate people, Mark. But what I learned from Bob Proctor, one of my mentors who passed away 3 years ago, he was in the movie The Secret. He's one of the biggest prosperity teachers, abundance teachers, law of attraction teachers. He said, this is step 2, and this is what I want to really, this is my message, my mission to the world, is to raise the conscious awareness of our planet, one precious soul at a time. And my vision is to co-create your juiciest vision, whatever that is. There's no limit to what we can achieve, what you can achieve. So I wanted to rah-rah people, but when I learned that what Zig Ziglar says, that motivation is like bathing, you got to do it daily, right? I'm like, okay, let's leave that aside. It's still a big aspect of what I do because of my bubbly personality. And I've married it in big time. 99% of my coaching is around what Bob has said about our divinity, that you are literally number one of one. When I learned that step number one, the only prerequisite to having it all is knowing what you want. That's it. Imagine how many of us knew that. I get to know what I want and I can have what I want. Yeah, that's literally it. There's a caveat, which is step number two, which is what we work on in our coaching. You don't get what you want, Mark. You get who you're being.
Yes.
And that is where most are stuck.
Yes.
They're not
being.
And if I could dive 1 second deeper on that, you're already perfection, as I said, in your DNA. You're not trying to be someone else. It's removing all of the lies, all of the conditioning, all of the shackles, all of the programming of culture, religion, media, mass media, for you to actually have a knowingness in every cell in your body that you are literally this universe's highest form of creation. And how would you behave if you knew that? Not here. Question, check in.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. I'm with you.
Yeah.
But for those people, Susan, that may not know how the law of attraction works,
Yes.
And there are people that don't.
Yeah.
For real, people that don't.
Yes, of course.
How do you teach that to your clients if they don't know? I mean, just say they don't know. I mean, how do you teach that? How do you put it?
Wow. Never been asked it that way. That's perfect. First of all, for whoever's listening, and if this is divinely that you're listening in, I thought there were coincidences. There are none, by the way. Everything happens by law. So this is fantastic, and I'm humbled to teach this. It's in the most layman terms, Mark. We're all magnets, and like attracts like. And you basically become what you think about. And really, thoughts over time become our beliefs. You may have heard it otherwise. You basically become what you believe. And Oprah has said that, and that is the truest of things. So it's to start by examining our thoughts. We get to think, which most don't, by the way. It sounds very demeaning to say would never dare to put down my human race if I'm demeaning any human being. That's diminishing Susan, right? Bob has said this, and I've seen it to be true. 2% of the population thinks, 3% think they think, and 95% would rather die than think. So, Mark, we have anywhere from 60 apparently to 70,000 thoughts a day. Most of them, if you look at it, is stuff repeated through the paradigm, through the mental programming of the past, whether it be our traumas repeated, whether it be thoughts of worry, doubt, and fear, whether it be thoughts of doubting ourselves or fearing the future or being anxious about the future, or what am I going to eat today? What am I going to wear today? It's all thoughts on auto loop. Nothing wrong, nothing bad, but does it work for what I teach, which is life by design? Because you're a masterpiece. Your job on planet Earth is to unleash your own masterpiece, to create your heaven on earth, basically, a version of that, right? So so it goes back to what I teach is how I teach precious souls how to think, but it all starts with basically the one philosophy that is also in the Bible, but this one philosophy apparently most philosophers and other religions have agreed upon, is that you become what you think about. So start looking to see, what are your thoughts? And if you don't know, the fastest hack, Mark, is to look at areas of your life that are super juicy. They're working really well. Let's say your love life. Well, reverse engineer, what are your thoughts about love? How well do you treat your woman? What are your predominant thoughts about her, this and that, about relationship, about love, about being in sacred union, versus, let's say someone is struggling with money, they're constantly in the red. Well, just reverse engineer, don't believe a word I say. All of this, by the way, is backed up by neuroscience and quantum physics, right? I don't teach that part, but all of it is, right?
Sure.
And look to see, what are your thoughts? Do we think? Most of us don't think in abundance. We don't think that the world is made abundant. We were told so many lies, like money doesn't grow on trees, and versions of those sentences that have now been instilled in our bodies and our subconscious minds. And we go around thinking there's not enough, instead of saying, wait a minute, look at all that sunshine. It's evening and there's just an abundance. Nature is only abundant. Creation is abundant. Our thinking isn't, and we become what we think about. So if we're experiencing lack in any area, be it our love lives, be it money, be it business, be it health, it's all one of the same, Mark, because everything is energy. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. And
Correct.
our job on planet Earth is to master the biggest real estate, which is the one between our two ears. It's limitless, right? To unleash Michelangelo's David, because Michelangelo's David happens to be Mark Ross. And everyone listening in, and Mark Ross being him doesn't take away from any of the precious billions globally, because you are number one of one. Furthermore, for you to be alive today, to be born, 1 in 400 trillion, the chances. If that's not a miracle, I don't know what is. I tell my clients, pinch yourselves.
And you know, I had to look up when you were talking. It led me to the book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 7, and it simply says, "Ask, and it shall be given to you. Seek,
Amen.
and you shall find. Knock, and the door, it shall be opened unto you." So you are clicking on all cylinders, Susan, when you talk about rechanneling your thoughts, refocusing your brain to really believe.
Amen. Amen, brother.
That you can do what it is that you want to do, right? Because there's only a certain number of people on this planet that believe that they are that they were that person. They're that person, right?
Yes.
The rest of us don't think like that.
Let's put ourselves in the ones that do believe. All of us here are doing that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And but see, what makes them who they are is that they believed. They took that leap of faith and believed in that journey of theirs. You dig what I'm saying? They believed.
100%.
And
Mark, yeah. Sorry, go on. 100%.
So, and even Jim Carrey said in the interview that he utilized that frame of thinking to get to where he is. He said that he wrote a check for $2 million or 20, something like that, and he kept it in his wallet for like years, and it got old and you know what I'm saying, broken, but he carried that check and he believed.
Amen. 100%.
He believed, and now look.
Exactly. And that is, by the way, everyone listening in, that is your limitless potential. And that's why I feel privileged to be here. Thank you for bringing that up. If I may speak, did you have anything else to add before
No, go ahead. Talk.
That is key. Ask, believe, receive. That's literally key from the Bible. And Mark, what most of us are doing, we're asking, but not big enough. Remember, for the universe, there is no size.
No.
In Canada, we
limitless.
No longer have cent, like the red cent. It's called a penny. We no longer have it. So whether we ask for a red penny, a cent, or the universe doesn't know the difference. But we think there's a limit. There's a law called the law of relativity. Everything is relative, but for the universe, there's nothing big or small. That's one. Number two, the universe gives to us unconditionally. That means it'll give to us whatever we put out. Remember, I said we're magnets, like attracts like. So if we're focused on lack, it'll give us more lack. If we're focused on SHIT, we will get more of that. That is the big, right? And third, most human beings, most of the time, are in the practice, and I was one of them, by the way. And if I don't practice the work requires practice, just like working out. I'll go back to that old way of being. Most are focused on what they don't want. The universe doesn't hear the negation mark. So if someone says, "Hey, I don't want to gain weight," they'll keep gaining weight. Do you hear? Does that make sense? So if they say, "I don't want to be poor," or "I don't want to live in lack," the universe doesn't hear the negation. And most are constantly and consistently, subconsciously mostly, but also maybe consciously, asking. They are asking, but they're asking for what they don't want. And because the universe will give to us abundantly more, unconditionally, well, there's no conditions. You ask for luck, that's what they get. Versus, no, let me be aware. And that's the first step, by the way. And that's what we do with my clients. That's really the secret sauce, if you will. Awareness. And awareness, Mark, is like someone lives in the most ultra luxurious building on the planet, right? There's someone, let's say the engineering team, they work in the basement. They never see what a luxurious building it is. They just work underground, taking care of the electricals, let's say, not the engineers, right? And then there's someone who lives on the third floor. They don't see what a glorious view there is. Like there's just infinite sunshine and beaches and oceans and right. And then there's the owner. He basically doesn't even have to take the elevator. He has his private elevator. He has his helipad. He arrives on top of the building, and that the only difference between each of these human beings is awareness. And it's basically using this limitless mind for us instead of against us, because most of us are using the subconscious against us. The subconscious is 95 to 98% of our results, Mark. That's where our results are coming from. And most are using it as a master. It's an awful master, but it's a beautiful servant. We want to learn how to master it and tame it to use it as our servant instead of as our master. Does that make sense? And ask boldly. And when you think you've asked big, ask bigger, because there's no size for the universe.
Yeah, that's an incredible way of looking at things when you say that there's no glass ceiling.
It's a human lie.
There's no glass ceiling to the universe, and there's no glass ceiling to how the mind thinks. You know what I mean? It's we trap ourselves. We trap our thinking based on our fears and our limits. We limit ourselves, right? We say to ourselves, well, I can't achieve that. We say to ourselves, you know, I can't be that football player that I always wanted to be when I'm growing up. You know, we do more self-harm than we realize.
100%.
We really do. And we need people out there, boots on the ground like yourself, Susan, to really help change the mindset of people that are afraid. You know, what are some challenges that you have as a mindset coach to work with people?
Me personally?
Yes, Susan.
Challenges to work with, like, my clients?
That you've had with clients, yes.
Oh, their challenges.
Their challenges, yes.
So the average person comes to me just to learn to earn money. That's all they want. And the average person has 4x their income within months of working with me. Some haven't. Some have doubled, some have tripled, some have 5x, some have turned their yearly into their monthly mark. And we're now turning their new yearly into their monthly income. So, and this isn't why they're actually happy. They're happy because they've become happy. They're earning because they've become happy. That's the key of the law of attraction, is to feel good.
To feel.
So it's be do. Yes, it's be do have. It's not when I have I will be, or when I do I will be. It's being first. And really anything, for whoever's listening in, anything is possible when we first be. It's not doing or having. It's first being. The limitless soul that you are, and acting from there. It's the doing. It's taking aligned, aka inspired action. It ain't hustling and grinding, Mark, unlike the lies we were taught. And then from there, the having it all is your divine birthright, because there's literal royal blood coursing through you. We came to enjoy. We didn't come to struggle. And when I first learned that, I'm like, what? I thought life was a struggle. I didn't think it was easy. How many of us think it's easy? Like, what's this unicorn saying? All backed up by science. Yeah.
Wow.
Right? It's that. But they get all the different results. Like, I don't teach a thing on parenthood. They're better parents. They tell me they're getting along with their teenagers, of all things. Juicier marriages, beautiful uncoupling, conscious uncoupling. It's basically they're co-authoring their lives. They're the captains. And for the first time, they're really taking permission to go all out and go all in on creating and living, most importantly, their lives by design, because we're already doing it. We've created it. We've powerful manifestors, Mark, because they come to me to learn how to manifest. I'm like, everyone listening in, you already know how to manifest. Our work is to manifest by design versus by default. We've already created our lives through the subconscious programming. I said the subconscious is responsible for 95 to 98% of our results. So how many of us wake up and go straight to like put the news on with a cup of coffee, which is what I did, right? And whatever, whenever, versus get up and pray or get up and meditate and get up and go inwards instead of going into all these devices that are beautiful if we use them as our servants, but they're awful as masters.
That part, yes.
Right? And how many of us need that dopamine hit 1,000 times a day?
That part.
Right?
Yeah. We're not learning anything, but we're face down on the, you know, on the devices all day.
You can't think if we do that. We literally cannot think. It's done by design, in my humble opinion, but we really can't think if we do that. And then we get anxious, and then we're not connected to our essence. How can we create? We're powerful co-creators. We're made in his image. What that means is not only are you limitless, you're a co-creator. What are we co-creating? More doubt, more worry, more fear, because whatever we plant, those are the seeds that we're gonna, you know, be blessed with or not blessed with, right? Like it's not gonna be a blessing. Versus no, I plant seeds of abundance, of joy, of love, of freedom, of ease, of play, of fun, adventure. That is your divine birthright. And how many of us are claiming that? Infinite possibilities. You're a pure liquid love, Mark. That's who you are. That is everyone listening. And look at that big smile. Know that, young man. Feel it. I'm feeling it over here. And you are literally an infinite walking potentiality, a miracle. That anything is possible for you today. Well, how do you want to co-author your life?
I'm
and it all starts with one decision, which is step 3, by the way, before we go. So 1 is create the vision. Number 2, we don't get the vision, we get who we're being. So create the self-image, the identity, the self-concept, and start acting like that individual every day. Fall down 7, get up a gazillion.
8. Yeah.
Thank you. And then from there, make a decision that you're going to repeat step 1 and 2 every day. Go to step 4, which is taking bite-sized goal from the vision, because the vision may scare you. Maybe I want this, I want that, don't get scared. It's all going to be done. How do we eat an elephant 1 bite at a time? That goal. And then step 5 is action. Without action, it's even in the word law of attraction, action. Take one inspired action towards that goal daily. And watch out. Because our job, I said, you're pure liquid love. Love serves. Love ain't a word just to throw around. Love is service. We're here to serve our human race because we are one. You are me and I am you. And what would be possible, Mark, if our entire world knew that? Big smiles, big hugs all around, eh?
Amen. Yeah. Amen. That's something else. Wow. I know where. I know where.
We need
go
2,
ahead.
3. I need to come back. Basically, you go on. No, it's your call. Thank you.
I know we're pressed for time because you got something going on. What's next for you in your journey, Susan?
Supercharging our planet. This is my life's work. It's my devotion. It's my dedication. It's touching the billions. Yeah, that's all I do. I work on it every day. That's why it's Easter Monday and I'm here. It doesn't matter. I was here yesterday. I was here the day before.
Yeah.
This is my life's work. I'm privileged, really humbled.
Amen to that. Amen to that. How can people contact you, Susan?
I'm at Supercharge with Susan. I write Susan with a Z for y'all. We say that in
Susan with a Z. Susan with a Z.
Yes.
Okay.
So Facebook and Instagram, TikTok, it's all Supercharge with Susan. I'd be delighted to supercharge our awesome audience here. There are multiple free events coming up, which I forgot to speak to you about, by the way, but if we must go, I can tell you when we sing, or I can say it now that all your people are invited to. It's free.
Go for it. Speak on it.
Like, there's one, I'm so stoked because I haven't done a live event. It's all online, but live since last year. So this will be my first one this year, and delighted to invite you, Mark. It starts next Monday for 5 days. Whoever connects with us at Supercharge with Susan on Instagram, they can just sign up. It's free for 5 days. It's just 90 minutes a day, and I dive deeper into everything we've been discussing. And I'll tell you more about it when we take off, but it starts next Monday. So reserve your complimentary spot, and can't wait to be of massive service and contribution to you and to co-create your juiciest visions. But before I go, remember your divinity, y'all. That's my final message.
Yeah.
Just remember who you are.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to talk again outside of this, so you can talk to me further about the Supercharge with Susan on Instagram. So, but send me a link to that and I'll share it.
Absolutely.
Right.
Will do.
I can do that for you. I can do that for you. And Susan Peltekian, everybody, if you have any questions for Susan in the future, for those of you that are watching, I will relay the question to her and relay the answer back to you. So
please,
yeah.
Better yet, they can come to my lives. I do free lives every Monday today because it's Easter Monday. I have a free Facebook group, Mark, that once you connect with me on IG, will invite you to be in it. It's free of charge. I do a live and ask any mindset manifestation related question every Monday. And I do the exact same one on Friday. They're never the exact same, by the way, every Friday on IG. So you can catch both. It's all free. It's all part of my love. Thank you so much.
All right.
What a blast.
Thank you, Susan, for taking the time to speak with me about your mission and your life, and I'm with you. I'm with you. And I hear you. I see you, and I understand. I get it.
Privileged to be here. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mark.
And for everybody else, thank you guys for participating and watching my podcast. This is the Speak Your Truth with Mark Ross. Remember, guys, your mental health and your physical health is a priority. So make that your priority, guys. Take care of it and make it a priority. Do it every day and do it first. With that being said, I'm out. Susan, you have a good day.
You too, young man. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye, everybody.